What's going on, guys? This Saturday, the boxing war stops for one of the biggest fights in recent memory, Canelo Álvarez versus Terence Crawford. A clash of two pound for pound kings, but beyond the skill, beyond the hype, what really catches everyone's attention is the money, the astronomical salaries these two fighters are about to earn. Reports confirm that Canelo is set to take home around $150 million, while Crawford is guaranteed $50 million. Numbers like this aren't just salaries, they are statements. They show us the magnitude of the fight, the kind of event that only happens once in a generation. So let's break this down. Why is Canelo making that match? Why is Crawford finally cashing in at this level? And what does it mean for the future of boxing? First, Canelo Álvarez at this point in his career, Canelo is not just another fighter, he is an institution. He is the most bankable star in boxing, the one name that guarantees packed stadiums, record breaking pay per view buys, and massive sponsorship deals. Every time he fights, entire countries tune in. His fan base stretches beyond Mexico. He draws from the USA, Europe, and even casual viewers who don't follow boxing regularly. That's why promoters are willing to throw nine-figure guarantees at him, because they know they'll make it back in ticket sales, pay-per-view revenue, merchandise, and global rights. Canelo is not only fighting for legacy, he is fighting as a business empire. Now let's talk about Terence but Crawford. For years, boxing insiders knew Crawford was one of the most gifted fighters of his generation. He is southpaw, orthodox, elite timing, knockout power, and ring IQ that rivals anyone in history. Yet, despite all that, his paychecks never matched his skill. He was criminally underrated in terms of market value. That all changed when he dismantled Errol Spence Jr. That fight elevated him into a superstardom, and promoters finally recognized what hardcore fans had known all along. Crawford is an once in a lifetime fighter. This $50 million purse is not just a payment, it's a correction. It is boxing finally paying Crawford what he's worth. Let's zoom out and compare in the UFC. Even the biggest stars like John Jones, Conor McGregor outside of his boxing match, Israel Adesanya, Ilia Topuria, or Khabib rarely sniff anything close to these numbers. A UFC champion might walk away with a 1 to 3 million guaranteed, plus pay-per-view points that can bring it up to maybe 10 million on the absolute high end. Compare that to boxing. Here, we are talking about 50 million and 150 million in one night. And when you put that next to other sports, the contrast is just as wild. NBA stars like LeBron James or Stephen Curry are earning 45 to 50 million dollars per season. NFL quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow sign contracts worth hundreds of millions, but spread across 8 to 10 years. Meanwhile, Canelo Álvarez is making that in one fight. That's the power of boxing when the matchup is big enough. But these salaries aren't just about two fighters getting rich. They symbolize what's at stake. Canelo is already cemented as one of the all-time greats, a four-division world champion, undisputed at super middleweight, and a man who's carried boxing on his shoulders for over a decade. For him, this payday cements his place not just in boxing history, but in sport history. He's proving that boxing can still deliver the type of mega events that rival Mayweather vs. Pacquiao or even the golden age of heavyweight boxing. For Crawford, this fight is legacy defining. Yes, the 5 million will change his life and his family's future forever, but what it truly represents is recognition. For years, he was overlooked, underpromoted, and even avoided by big names. Now, not only is he in the spotlight, but he is being compensated like the superstars he always should have been. If he wins, he doesn't just get respect, he gets immortality. And here's another layer. These salaries prove that boxing, despite its critics, is alive and thriving. We've heard for years that boxing is dead, that the UFC took over, or that casual fans don't care. But the numbers tell a different history. No MMA fight has ever touched these financial levels. Few sports, even outside of the Super Bowl or World Cup final, can rival the money this one fight is generating. That's the unique magic of boxing. When two pound for pound elite collide, the world pays attention. Let's not forget the ripple effects. Young fighters watching this fight will see that boxing still holds the biggest financial rewards in combat sports. Promoters will realize that fans are willing to pay for true 50-50 fights, not mismatched. Broadcasters will see that the global demand for mega fights hasn't gone anywhere. This payday isn't just about Canelo and Crawford, it's about the future of the sport itself. And while fans debate who is the GOAT between Crawford, Mayweather, Ali, Usyk, and how their legacies stack up, one thing is undeniable. Batman walked into the ring already victorious in terms of financial legacy. Canelo, already a billionaire athlete, is adding another history payday to his record. Crawford finally reaping the rewards of years of dominance is stepping into a new world of superstardom. So when you hear 150 million and a 50 million, don't just think of dollar signs. Think of what it represents. Two warriors putting everything on the line, an entire sport proving its relevance, and fans around the globe uniting for one unforgettable night. It also sparks a bigger conversation about the economics of boxing today. While UFC fighters are still fighting for a fraction of these purses, boxing shows that when the stage is massive and the spotlight is global, the fighters truly reap the rewards. Canelo and Crawford are proving that boxing, despite its critics, is still capable of producing nights that shake the sport world. And finally, whether you love or hate either fighter, their payday is a reflection of years of sacrifice, discipline, and dominance. These aren't just numbers on a paycheck. They are proof that combat sports can still deliver legends, legacies, and life changing moments, both inside and outside the ring. At the end of the day, whether you were cheering for Canelo or Crawford, one thing is crystal clear. This fight will be remembered as one of the biggest events in modern boxing history. The stage, the stakes, and the payday have proved just how massive this sport can still be. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more fight content, and let me know in the comments, do you think these fighters truly deserve their paychecks? Until next time, keep your guard up and stay tuned for more fight talk.